Noakes, arguably one of the top sports scientists in the world, especially in nutrition, that helped our team a lot. He told Bonnie, for instance, see, you're trying to digest in the supine position like this, and all that nutrition you take in, yet NASA developed squeezed goos and gels of concentrated proteins and carbohydrates and sugars, but most of that is going into empty spaces because you're not digesting in the vertical position. And Tim Noakes taught Bonnie to make a small bowl of cooked pasta. And I would come over to the edge of the boat, tread water like this. Bonnie would throw in handfuls of rigatoni. Bonnie says, if we don't do well, there's always a job for us at SeaWorld. So Bonnie would take handfuls of rigatoni, and on top of the rigatoni, squirt in the NASA gels of protein, etc., and hopefully to congeal better, and I could make use of that to contract the muscles. And now Tim Noakes, after helping us so much, wrote me what you'd have to call a Dear John letter. And he said, look, we down here at the University of South Africa, we admire you and your team. You've inspired people all around the world, but now I've had a chance to observe you 3 times out there and take all the notes. And today, I'm sorry to say, I'm sending you the equations, the empirical facts that will show you that nobody of any age, any gender, any era is going to make this swim. You have to push north so hard for so long that you're going to be in a state of glycogen deprivation. You're going to go into unconsciousness before you can get to the other side. You can never take in as much as you're putting out. It's never going to be done. And everybody else, Sanjay Gupta at CNN had been our buddy, had covered this for 3 outings now, and he said, Diana, you're going to be 90 and still trying this swim. We just don't believe it can be done by anybody. But I tell you what, if you ever make it, we'll be on the other shore waiting for you. And I wrote them and called them, all of them. There was the New York Times, there's the Washington Post, and I said, thank you so much for your respect, having told our story so far. But let me tell all of you, this swim here, this has nothing to do with glycogen deprivation. This swim revolves around the power of the human spirit. And that's why we will walk up on the beach in Key West. So we put it together a 5th time. We get the weather call. We're leaving at dawn for Havana. 40 of us, the whole team, we're in Key West. We're sequestered. I'm excited, I'm trained up, I can walk through a brick wall, and on the other hand, I'm scared. I admit it. Will this be the time that a rogue shark comes through and gets me? Will this be the time I run into another swarm of those box jellyfish? You don't get immune to them, you get sensitized to them, and if you live through one sting, you'll never live through the next one. Will this be the time that the team just can't give anymore? This is the 5th time they've taken, never getting paid a cent, one of them, when they, took time from their families, their own jobs. I poured the Kool-Aid, they drank the Kool-Aid, and we were all high on the same Kool-Aid. So I can't sleep. Bonnie's mad at me because I'm going to go out for a walk, but it's the only thing to calm me down. I go out for a walk in Key West about midnight. I go into an all-night drugstore. There's only one consumer there, and he's Cuban. And he knows me, he knows of my story, but I asked him about his story. And he says he was 7, he's in his mid-20s now, so maybe 20 years before, he, and we'll never ever know how many Cubans have left that shore in the middle of the night on dilapidated rafts trying to seek freedom on our shores. And he said he was down that night. It's the night his family's going to go. They already have family members and many friends who have never made it across, and they've never seen them again. And he's looking at this dilapidated, half-inflated raft that their whole group is going to get into, and he's so scared it's not going to make it past the breakwater. It's a pretty windy night. He says, how is this boat going to possibly make it to 100 miles of treacherous ocean? And his grandmother came down. and she pulled him over the side. He told me that he was her favorite. And she said, mi querido, I'm not going. This is my country. I'm too old. But listen to me. An American once gave me this $2 bill. They say it means good luck over there. We're going to zip it in your jacket. It's going to help you survive the crossing. It's going to help you make a new life in America. And querido, it's possible that you and I, we're never going to see each other again. But listen, you'll do this for me. One day, and you'll know the right day, you're going to come across somebody who, just like you tonight, needs some good luck. And you're going to give them this $2 bill. And he gave it to me that night. It's the 5th time. We're on the shore of Havana. I have that $2 bill in a plastic sheet. I've tucked it down. His grandmother was there at the shore. She heard about it. She called out. I went up to her. We hugged. I took out the $2 bill and she kissed it for me. I put it back in. I'm looking out and that horizon looks farther away than it ever looked before. Bonnie came and she shook me and she said, let's find a way. And I took the leap, and that first day I'm singing my songs, Elton John, Bob Dylan, the Beatles. We're making great progress. John Bartlett is coming out of his navigation cabin on the main boat with his thumbs up in the air all day. We never saw that for 1 minute on any of the other 4 crossings. All day. He's happy with the Gulf Stream configuration. It has a tiny northerly component today instead of due east. The wind is low. I'm strong. All the team is clicking together. And that night was hell on earth. I was wearing a silicone mask with a retainer for the teeth inside. Very difficult to open and get your breath. But in a calm sea, you can do it. But that night, it blew. The wind blew, and now I'm getting slapped in the face with walls of seawater. You're not allowed to have help, so you take your own tired and numb fingertips to try to reach the edge of the silicone to get the mask up. I'm vomiting into the mask. I've got to clean it out, get it back on, and the next day, it does calm down, and Bonnie starts calling me over for real quick feedings every 45 minutes, try to make something up of everything I've lost, the weight I've lost the night before, instead of every 90 minutes. And that second night, if it's possible, was more hellish than the first night. Now I have lost a lot. Now I'm cold. I'm hallucinating freely. I saw floating right over here the Taj Mahal. It never occurred to me it shouldn't be floating between Cuba and Florida. And Bonnie, very astute, she has learned not to try to talk me out of hallucinations. Going with me gets me through the quicker, and I'm yelling out about the Taj Mahal. I'm not going north, I'm being dragged east, and Bonnie's over here yelling, oh, look at those marble pillars. Just magnificent. And you know what, Diana? We're going to come back, we're going to spend a whole week at the Taj Mahal. We're going to visit every centimeter of the Taj Mahal, but tonight, come on, please put your head down, swim, count, sing. We got to go north. A few hours later, I got fixated on these little men walking on the ocean floor. And I can't see the ocean floor. It's like 1,200 feet underwater. But I see them, and they're marching with little knapsacks. So I'm not swimming, I'm stopping, and I'm treading water. I'm trying to figure out, and then I know who they are. They're the Cubans. They're the Cubans who have died in trying to make it across. And Bonnie, when I tell her that I'm upset, she takes a look, she's respectful. She looks over and she says, no, don't be upset. Those aren't the Cubans. You know who those are? Those are the 7 dwarfs. And you know the great thing about them? They're going right where you're going, so just follow them for a while. I can't tell you how helpful they were. I was trying to remember names, and I breathed to the left, so as my right ear would go down, I would hear them. They were chatting, they were singing, and they were whistling. It's off to where we go. The talents, the range of talents is amazing. I'm hanging on by a thread. I honestly couldn't remember who I was, what I was doing there. Why does this guy in the kayak know my name? And Bonnie blew the whistle for shark, and I got my legs drawn up like I'm supposed to, snapped me out of my reverie. I paddled toward the boat like I'm supposed to, and when she got there, she said, "Listen to me. I want you to feather up. Tell me what's straight ahead. What do you see?" I said, "Bonnie, come on, my vision is shot. It's a sea of black. It's black ocean, black sky. I can't see anything." She said, "It's important, it's crucial. Tell me what you see. Feather up higher." Wait a second. I do see something. There's a filament of light right across the horizon level like this. The third day is upon us. You know what happens when the sun comes up, we all feel hope. The sun's rays are going to warm my body. And Bonnie's not a crier, but she's choked up. And she says, "Diana, that's not the sun. That's better than the sun. Those are the lights of Key West. Come on, we're going to make it this time." We had done many 15-hour swims, and now, many hours later, we're 2 hours from shore. I can see palm trees, and the skies are blue. And I asked Bonnie and John to bring the whole flotilla, the whole team of 40 close by me, and I said to them, "Listen, I guess I'm going to stumble up on that beach pretty soon. I guess somebody's going to take my picture. But don't you ever forget, my team, don't you ever forget that we did this together." So as I said in the beginning, it's been 11 years since the stumble up onto that beach, and I don't want to just look back. I'm moving forward. I'm starting an archive for survivors of sexual abuse, a place where they can be. Middle school chapter books, and it's called the series "You're Never Too Young to Chase Your Dreams." Bonnie and I have started a national walking initiative. It's called Everwalk. We want people to feel what we felt out in the ocean, traveling over the curvature of the earth, looking up at this beautiful planet of ours, making community and chatting as you go, the healthiest thing you can do. So Everwalk's our new baby, and we're pushing to make it a big national brand. Come walk with us, virtually or not. And I want to leave you by saying, and it might be a too precious thing to say, but in about a month, I'm turning 75. Still feeling vital, still feeling agile. But the truth is, let's get real, I'm a lot closer to the end than I am to the beginning. And I'll tell you, when that last breath comes, I know I'm going to say, "No, it went by too fast. I wish there was more time. I want to know more people, help more people, have more experiences." But at least at that last breath, I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to close my voice. I'm going to say, "At least I did it all. So I couldn't do it a fingernail